Hey, what's up guys and welcome to Tan in this channel, and today I will do a review on the Yonex Vcore 95 for the second time. But this time is different because I will customize it a little bit to make it more of a weapon. Last time I playtest the Vcore 95, I like it the most compared to older versions, but the problem for me is that it lacks firepower and it takes too much effort to play with. And this is because Yonex made this racket as a platform racket for customization, and my string setup at that time with the Slingo Confidential is not very compatible with the racket. Many of you guys suggested that I should change the string to something more powerful and strung it lower at mid 40 tension, as well as adding some weight to increase the plow. So here it is. I got the Tour Bite soft on this racket, and I add 4 grams of lead under the hoop to increase the swing weight by around 12 points. So now the swing weight should be around like 330 plus or minus. Okay, my first impression was like, oh my god, this plays very differently from the stock form last time. It's not as demanding and it's more forgiving. With this new string setup, I feel like it plays like a 98 scratches racket more than the 95, and I don't have that much of a problem with the forgiveness at all. The racket is still a bit underpowered on the Groundstrokes, but it's way better than on the stock form without the lead. Now I can hit with some good power behind the shots, but I don't feel like the ball from this racket is as heavy as on my other rackets, such like a Blade or Gravity Pro or the Whiteout 18x20. What I mean is, I feel like if my opponent can get to the ball in time, they can return it. The feel is a bit muted, but I think it's better than the Vcore 98 and 100. At least I can get some connection to the shots, but it's not enough to fully understand the touch shots like drop shots, slice, and lob. On the ground strokes, the Vcore 95 is reliable, the stability is good, but I don't think it's on the top tier. Probably because it flexes a bit too much. There are many rackets out there that is more stable than this one. Overall, I feel confident on my forehand. I can rip the ball from the back of the court. I feel okay with my backhand. It's not the best, but it's better than Wilson control rackets for sure. I tend to have issues with high ball on the backhand that I try to put it down and it ended up in the net instead of driving through. The spin is okay, but launch angle is a bit inconsistent, somewhat like the Vcore 98. I feel like there's a big line between hitting flat and hitting topspin, and the launch angle is either low or high, unlike other rackets that could send the ball with some mixture of flat and topspin. For example, if I hit the ball with my Pro Staff X, the ball will go mostly with some topspin on it, and the launch angle will be like 2 feet above the net on almost every shot. But on this racket, it's like I really have to choose whether I should go with the flat shot, the flat low ball, or like topspin high ball. And I don't really prefer the racket that have this behavior because I have to add one more step in my thoughts instead of just ripping it left and right. And the racket take care of spin and the launch angle for my game. Okay, let's talk about the control, which is what this racket is about. Well, 95 square inches head size offers plenty of control. I feel like the directional control on this racket is exceptional. I can place the ball corner to corner very effectively. And anyway, this comes with some requirement. I feel like when I have enough time to prepare, I can put the ball away 100%. Approach shots inside the baseline are so reliable and very efficient. I feel 100% confident and I didn't miss a single one. However, when on the back foot, I find it a bit of a liability to place the ball back and turn defense to offense. I cannot return the ball strong enough and sharp enough to get me advantages on the defense. The depth control is just fine. I mean, it kinda automatically tame your power not to overhit, but I don't feel like I'm in control of the depth 100%. And this came back to the launch angle and spin that I'm still not fully dialed in yet. On the serve, I give it 8 out of 10. The power is there, ball placement is good, flat serve has high percentage, and I can mix it with some slide serve out wide on the deal side on the first service. The second serve is better than I thought. I can put spin on the ball and get very good percentage. The return is just so-so. I found myself hitting forehand return in the net pretty often, and the ball usually lands too short in the middle instead of going deep, so it didn't give me any advantages on the return. For the downside, first I would say the racket is not giving you as heavy ball as some other rackets in the same weight class. As I said before, you could argue that I could add more weight to increase the plow, but I don't want to do that because now it's already in my range that I can handle. Second is the launch angle and spin that are somewhat inconsistent. I feel this way with the Vcore 98 too, so probably because of the mold or the way it flexes. Third is the touch. I find myself going for a drop shot that goes too long than it's supposed to because the frame is muted and it's hard to gauge the impact on the ball. Also, the lob goes long too often than what I normally do. Fourth is the ability to deal with like deep ball. I feel not very confident when dealing with the ball that comes deep in my side that I have to hit rising ball or half volley. It gives me a feeling that the ball could go into the net or could fly out if I cannot control the angle well. The last one is the sweet spot. It's not exactly the downside, but if you hit below the sweet spot to the handle side, you will lose like 80% of the power. So that's what you need to know. And this is the summary of my thought on the racket. Overall, I think the racket is suitable for high intermediate to advanced players who have good fundamentals and timing on the ball. The racket is very reliable on the attack. Control is great. Power is pretty good for 95 square inches racket. The sweet spot is not exactly a spot, but it's more of the area. So it's big enough compared to other control frames. The racket is very comfortable to play with, so if you have arm issues and still want to play with like player rackets that is demanding, this is probably the one to look at. However, the racket is still demanding to the degree you need to add some weight to the frame to increase the playability. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.